Hey, Burg here. This video I'm going to show you how I created the map Dodgeball. So I have it open right now. So this is the basic layout: 4 players on the side, 4 players on the side. You'll notice the starting positions for the players are actually on the edges. And this is all off screen. Like this blue line is the actual edge that you'll see in game. All of this is hidden off the map, so you don't even know it's here. So in the editor, you don't see very much. All you see are like these waypoints. Everything that's happens on the map is done via these triggers. Trigger editor. I can open this up. I have like 10 triggers or something. So I have a trigger for each spy set. Like spy set hey, I'll call it. Like the event is any event, so it'll happen like immediately. And what it does is it changes the attached object to like a player. So what's this one? This one's spy set A. Like you can double click a building, attach a trigger to it. So since I have this building attached to this trigger, then at the start of the game, player A will get this spy set. I have one for like player B, player C. Each player will get their own spy set. What other triggers do I have? So I also have these kill triggers that will, what it does is the action destroy all of number 119. Kills everything that belongs to a specific house. And I attach that to the person's V3 rocket. So once the V3 rocket dies, then they die as well. So if I didn't have that, then they would lose the V3 rocket, but they'd still be alive. Because they would have like the spy set. So I have one of these for each player. Destroyed by anything not. So the event is when the attached object is destroyed. That's when this trigger will go off. Number 29. And the most important part about this map are the teams. So I have a whole bunch of teams set up for each person's V3 rocket. And each person's team is made up of a task force. Task force just being a unit that a team will use. So I'll have a task force called V3, and it's just one V3 rocket. And this team will use the task force. Oh yeah, task force. And I have selected V3. So this V3 is for player A. The house is player A. The task force is V3, so they will get, the V3. I also have the kill player A trigger, so that when this team dies, the trigger will kill the player, like I showed the trigger before. So I have each of these for each player. Each team will have, their own V3 rocket. Then I have one for the brute. The brute just spawns in like 10 minutes into the game, and it's just a brute. Just one brute. And then I have another trigger I haven't shown yet, which is how I'm spawning in the V3 rockets. I have one called Spawn V3. Spawn V3. The event, any event, start of the game. And I have like 8 actions, one for each player. And I'm using reinforcement 80 is the action. And it's create reinforcement team at a special waypoint. So for all these actions, I'm spawning in my V3 rockets. Team D, V3 rocket. Team E, V3 rocket. So for Team A, it's their Team V3 rocket, and it's at waypoint 8 right here. Player B at waypoint 9. Player C at waypoint 10. And I do that for every single player. So each player will have a reinforcement at a specific waypoint. That reinforcement is of a certain team, which I have created here. And that team has a task force of what's in the team. So for instance, my task force could have like more than one unit. It could have like, 5 brutes, or I could add like more units. I could be like a brute and a GI. But obviously for this map, it's just the one unit. So I think I've shown pretty much everything about the map. Giving the player the spy satellites, these spy sat triggers. How to give the player the V3 rockets. You just need one trigger. Spawning in all the teams. Player A, C, D, E. And then the final trigger is a timer, which is 750 in-game frames. So that's the action, is a timer set. And it's just a timer ticking down to when the brute will come in. That just kicks off immediately. Then I have the brute. It spawns in at the same time when the countdown's done. So the timer isn't actually linked to the brute spawning. The timer is its own thing. But then the brute has the same timer length. And I spawn in the brute, like right here and right here. That's pretty much it about the map. As far as the blue line, this edge, you can set that in edit, go to map. There's a visible area. This is like the left x-axis, the top y-axis. Top y-axis, far x-axis, bottom y-axis. So if I change this to like 0, then this blue line is going to come way over here. So that's how I kind of hid stuff off screen. But that's how I created the map. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. So continuing with the map, I've opened up the map in Notepad, which lets us see all the mods really a lot easier. So all I've shown you so far are the triggers and the teams in Final Alert. So starting from the top with the brute, I've lowered the movement speed by 2, set trainable to no so that it can't level up or become elite. This is just so that the V3 rocket can like run away from the brute. Otherwise the brute would just kill it pretty fast. And for the spy sat, I'm giving it 100 power. Not a big deal. And I set the veteran ratio to 1. What this means is that the V3 rocket, when it kills another V3 rocket, it'll become veteran. And if it kills one more V3 rocket, it becomes elite. And I've adjusted some of the V3 rocket details here. So like the rocket altitude normally goes 768 high. Now it's going 600 high. And I've lowered the tilt frames, which is like when the V3 rocket is preparing to fire. The V3 rocket like tilts upwards and fires. It's only taking 15 frames, so 4 times as fast. So I'm kind of speeding everything up. And I've changed the acceleration from 0.4 to 1.0. So the rocket is moving pretty fast. And for the V3 rocket unit itself, movement speed +1. It doesn't accelerate, so whenever it moves, it's just max speed. And also it reloads the missiles 4 times as fast. Goes to 100, down from 400. Also, when it's elite, I took out the self-healing, which is normally like right here, but I just erased it. That way, it'd be pretty OP if you had an elite V3 rocket. You just go back. You probably just go to the back of the map and just heal. So I got rid of that. And the V3 rocket has like this acceleration factor of 0.01. I just put that back to 1. And for the V3 launcher, it's firing faster to compensate with the respawn rate. And I've increased the range so it can reach the back of the map. And the missile moves a little bit faster when it's fired. And then the V3 rocket itself, it has 0.5 bigger cell spread. So bigger area of effect of the missile. Also, the damage is slightly increased on that AoE. And those are all the mods on the map.